In this video, we're going to talk about all of the different angles that you can find in circles. And so there's 4 different types we're going to talk about. Central angles are angles that are in the center of the circle, like this angle right here. Inscribed angles are angles that are inscribed into the side of a circle, like this angle down here, because it's touching the edge of the circle. Interior angles are angles that are inside of the circle but not at the center. So this angle right here, because it's inside the circle but not at the center, is an interior angle. In fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right here. An exterior angle is an angle that's on the outside of the circle, like this one is exterior to the circle. And we're going to learn some rules that go with each one of these. All right, so the first one, central angles. Central angles are equal to the arc that they come off of. So angle, I'm going to try to have nice handwriting, equals arc. So for instance, if I told you this arc was 49 degrees, then this angle right here would also be 49 degrees. These are probably the easiest ones to get. The angle and the arc are exactly the same. All right, an inscribed angle. An inscribed angle is one that's touching the edge of the circle, and so it can't equal this arc. In fact, if you have this arc out here, the inscribed angle is exactly 1/2 of the arc. So the angle is equal to 1/2 of the arc. And that goes the other way too. If you know the angle and you want to go out, instead of dividing by 2, you would multiply by 2. So for instance, if I told you that this angle right here was 40 degrees, and I wanted to know this arc out here, you would multiply by 2 and get 80 degrees. All right, the interior and the exterior angles are a little bit more complicated. The interior angle is somewhere in between, switch colors, somewhere in between this arc and this arc. All right, I think you guys will all agree with me that this angle and this angle have to be equal because they're vertical. But that doesn't mean that these arcs have to be equal. The angles just need to be exactly in between these two arcs. That's an average. So you would do arc plus arc, that's a plus sign, divided by 2 to get the angle that's on here. So for instance, if I told you that this was 50 and this was 30, then you would do 50 plus 30 divided by 2. And 50 plus 30 is 80. 80 divided by 2 is 40. This angle has to be the average of the two arcs. All right, last one, exterior angles. All right, for exterior angles, they are angles that are outside of the triangle. And you need these two arcs, the two arcs that it catches, in order to figure out the exterior angle. But this time, instead of averaging the arcs, because you can tell the farther you pull this angle back, the smaller and smaller and smaller it gets. So instead of adding the arcs and dividing by 2, if you want to make it smaller, you're going to do arc minus arc and divide by 2 to get that angle. So for instance, if I told you that this arc was 60 and I told you that this arc was 20 and I asked you to find this angle right here, you would do 60 minus 20 divided by 2. And 60 minus 20 is 40, and 40 divided by 2 is 20 degrees. So those are all the different angles and all of the different rules that are associated with them in circles.